Do you find yourself mindlessly overeating sometimes? I want to share with you some tips to where you can avoid that and avoid the pitfall of overeating and sometimes the guilt that comes along with that. You know, sometimes it's really easy to find yourself at, you know, the bottom of a pint of ice cream or the bottom of a box of Cheez-Its, and you think, how the heck did that happen? And then you feel super guilty, and sometimes it's really easy to fall into this trap where it's hard to get out of and hard to get back on track. So the first thing when it comes to overeating is to make sure you are portioning out your meals ahead of time. So we recommend for all of our members to weigh out their food on a digital food scale and to go ahead and have your plate ready and to have everything on your plate set up, or even when you're meal prepping, to go ahead and have your containers ready so that if you're super hungry at night when you get off of work, you're not having to sit there and try to make your portions. You're just pulling out your meal prep container, throwing it in the microwave and heating it up really quick. Another thing too is to make sure if you're keeping snacks at home, keep the snack sized packages. So for me personally, I know there are certain items for me that are trigger foods and I won't keep them in the house. For example, peanut butter. I joke with Dustin, I say, look, when I'm on my deathbed, give me a jar of peanut butter, give me a kiss and leave me alone. I know that if I have peanut butter, it's really easy for me to grab a tablespoon, and then maybe a couple hours later, I'll grab another tablespoon, and before you know it, I've had 4 tablespoons of peanut butter in one day. So grabbing individual little snack-sized portions of things can also help you avoid overeating as well. So if you want Greek yogurt, grab the individual little Greek yogurts instead of grabbing the big one. If hummus, grab little packets of hummus already divided out. Nuts, grab little packets of the unsalted nuts already divided out. And that way you're less likely to overeat. Another thing is to make sure you're getting enough water in, because it's really easy for our brains to confuse thirst with hunger. So you want to be shooting for roughly a gallon of water a day. Being even 1% dehydrated can slow down your metabolism. So my rule of thumb is if you're hungry, try drinking a big glass of water and then see if you're still hungry. And try to learn the difference between a hunger pain, where you really need to eat something, versus you're just kind of bored, you want to munch on something. I know for some of our members who work from home, they tell me that they really have a hard time with overeating because it's really easy if you're working, at home, to go to the kitchen, to grab a snack. I always work away from the kitchen. So when I'm working at home, I will not work at our kitchen table, because I know that if I'm in the kitchen, it is, you think about food, you're around food, you're in the kitchen. So I make sure that my office is away from the kitchen as much as you can help that. So if you're in an apartment and you don't have that division of space, it might not be as easy for you to go work in a different area. But if you do have that option, I would definitely recommend spreading out and not working right in your kitchen. Another thing is you want to make sure at night you're not overeating as well. And one way you can prevent that is making sure you're getting those 5 small meals in throughout the day. If you're breaking up your meals and you're eating, 5 small meals frequently, so you're having breakfast, about 3 hours later you're having a snack, about 3 hours later you're having lunch, about 3 hours later you're having another snack, and then 3 hours later you're having dinner, you're not gonna find that you have this period where you just absolutely crash and you're so hungry that you just binge eat. What happens when you're starving to death at dinner, let's say you have breakfast and then you don't eat again until dinner, you're absolutely right, you're starving. It's gonna be a lot harder for you to control your portion sizes at that point, because your body is literally in starvation mode. You're going to be craving all kinds of crazy things, and it's gonna be a lot harder to get satisfied. So by eating those 5 small meals and spacing them out, you're not gonna find that you have those huge crashes. I hope these tips help, and I hope that you're able to take a few of these away. If you're struggling with overeating, or I'm mindless overeating, try to implement some of these and let me know what you think.